create the Telluride beanie, you'll need a worsted weight 4 yarn. This is Lion Brand Heartland. It's 100% acrylic yarn. And look at the pattern for the amount of yarn for your specific size. You'll also need a 4mm crochet hook, a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a button, a tapestry needle, and a pom-pom if you choose. We're going to begin by creating the ribbed band along the bottom of the hat, and it's worked back and forth in rows. To follow along with this pattern, you can use either the free version linked below on my blog, or you can purchase an ad-free PDF of the pattern. So you're going to start by chaining the number of stitches it specifies for your size. I'm working child size, so I'm going to chain 8. You're then going to single crochet in the second chain from your hook and in each remaining chain. You're then going to chain 1 and turn. And to create the crochet ribbing, you're going to work a single crochet in the first stitch, and then you're going to work a back loop only single crochet across. So this is the front loop, this is the back loop. Work only through the back loop. You're then going to single crochet through both loops of the final stitch. So chain 1 and turn and repeat that same pattern. So you're going to single crochet in the first and the last stitch and back loop only single crochet in all of the center stitches. You're going to work the number of rows the pattern states for your size. Once you've worked a few rows, make sure you check your gauge. So for all sizes, you should have about 17 rows in 10 centimeters, which here we can see we do. And then the width of the band is going to be different for each size. This is a child size, and it should have a width of 4 centimeters, which we're right on. If your band is turning out too small, try going up half a crochet hook size and remeasuring gauge. If your band is turning out too large, try going down half a crochet hook size. Once you finish your crochet ribbing, you're going to fasten off, leaving a little bit of a tail for seaming. You're going to grab a tapestry needle and fold the hat band over, making sure that it's not twisted, and you're just going to whip stitch the two ends together. When you're done seaming, you're going to grab a 5mm crochet hook and join a new yarn in the side of any row. You're going to chain 2. I'm just chaining 1 because I tend to crochet a bit tighter. And you're going to half double crochet in the side of each row. When you're picking up stitches, you can look at the side of each row and there is a little gap at the end of each row. That's the easiest place to work into, I find, when picking up stitches. So work half double crochet stitches all the way around. When you finish picking up your half double crochet stitches, you're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round, chain 2, and then this round is worked half double crochet in the third loop. So when you look at your half double crochet stitch, you can see that you have the front loop and the back loop. But when you yarn over to create a half double crochet stitch, that creates what's known as a third loop in the back of the stitch. And these are the loops that we're going to be working into. And when you work into the third loop, what happens is the front loop and the back loop of the stitch are brought forward, and this creates a knit look stitch in the front. So take your hook, yarn over, and work into that third loop in the back, and you can use your finger to try and get it on if it's a little difficult. And keep working those front half double crochet stitches in the third loop around, and you're going to work these stitches for actually 3 total rounds. Once you finish the 4 rows of half double crochet crochet stitches, you're going to slip stitch into that first half double crochet stitch, chain 3, and now you're going to work double crochet stitches in the third loop around. So work double crochet stitches in that third loop all the way around. Once you've completed that round, slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, and now we're going to chain 3 again. And for this round, you're going to alternate double crochet and front post double crochet stitches. So we're going to start out with a double crochet stitch in the first stitch, and then you're going to work a front post double crochet. So go around the post of the double crochet, pull up a loop, and complete your double crochet stitch. And continue working this stitch pattern around. When you reach the end of this round, you're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Then you're going to chain 2 and go back to working half double crochet stitches. So you're just going to work half double crochet stitches on top of the previous round of double crochet stitches, and then you'll do 3 more rows of the half double crochet stitches in the third loop. And what we're doing is just repeating this series of rounds right here. And so I'll meet you back once we're done with that to show you how to do the decrease rounds. So I am now on round 13, and round 13 is where you begin your decreases. Each size will have a different number of stitches in between each decrease. The larger sizes, I think, start out at 14 stitches between each decrease. This is a child size, and there are going to be 10 half double crochet stitches in between each decrease. So let me work up those 10 stitches. Okay, that's 10 half double crochet stitches, so we've come to our first decrease. In this pattern, there are 4 different types of decreases. There's a half double crochet decrease, a half double crochet decrease working through the third loop, then there's a double crochet decrease and a double crochet decrease working through the third loop. So I'm going to go through each of these decreases with you. So for the half double crochet decrease, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, and pull up a loop. For a standard half double crochet decrease, you would then yarn over again and work into the next stitch. But I find that the third loop is created by that yarn over we already did, so doing another yarn over really doesn't do anything for us, and it just creates some added bulk in the stitch. So for this pattern, you're not going to yarn over again, you're just going to go straight into that second stitch, pull up a loop. So you'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all of those loops. So that's our first half double crochet decrease. Now we'll work 10 more half double crochet decreases, 10 more half double crochet stitches, and then we'll decrease again. And you work this pattern all the way around. So I just worked my last half double crochet decrease of round 13. I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, and for this round we're working in the third loop again. So we're going to half double crochet into the third loop, which also means that the decrease for this round is going to be worked into the third loop as well. So for the previous round, round 13, there were 10 stitches for this size between each decrease, which means for this round, round 14, there's going to be 9 half double crochet stitches between each decrease. So work up the number of stitches for your size. That's 9. Okay, so our half double crochet decrease for this round is going to be worked as the same as the half double crochet decrease for the previous round. We're just going to be working into the third loop. So yarn over, insert your hook into that third loop, and pull up a loop, and then insert your hook into the third loop of the next stitch, pull up a loop. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops. Then you're going to work your next 9 stitches before the next decrease and continue working that pattern around. So I am at the end of round 14, so I'm going to work my last half double crochet decrease, slip stitch into that first half double crochet stitch, And for the next two rounds, rounds 15 and 16, you're going to work your decreases the same as the previous round. So I'll meet you back when we get to the double crochet round. So this is round 17, and this is a double crochet round. So you're going to chain 3 and double crochet in the third loop. And for this child size, there are 6 stitches between each decrease. Make sure you're following the pattern for your size. So we have 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches, because remember that chain 3 counts as a double crochet stitch, so that makes 6 stitches. So let me show you how to work this double crochet decrease. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the third loop of the next stitch, and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and insert your hook into the third loop of the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops on your hook. You'll be left with 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's how you work the double crochet decrease, working through the third loop. So continue following the pattern around for this round. Okay, round 18 is just a little bit trickier with the decreases because we're alternating front post double crochet and regular double crochet stitches. So let me show you how this round works for decreases. Chain 3, and you're going to decrease right away first thing on this round. So yarn over, pull up your loop, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through those first 2 loops, and pull through all 3 loops. And the reason we're decreasing right away is because we want the decreases to be worked on the regular double crochet stitches. I think that just makes it a little bit easier than worrying about decreasing in front posts. So the next thing you're going to do for this round on this size, there's going to be 5 stitches between each decrease. Please follow the pattern for your size. So we're going to front post double crochet, and then double crochet, front post double crochet, and then double crochet, and then that's 4. We have 1 last front post double crochet. Another thing that's a little bit tricky is when you reach these decreases, you'll be working a regular double crochet stitch into those 2, so it is just 1 stitch on top. But make sure when you're working into the front post for the next stitch that you realize that these 2 stitches are technically acting as 1 stitch, so make sure you're going into the right stitch. Front post double crochet. And then you're going to work your decrease in the next 2 stitches as a regular double crochet decrease. And so then once again, remember that these 2 stitches have been decreased together. You've worked into both of them. So for your front post double crochet, it's actually in the next stitch over here. You've already worked into both of those 2 stitches. Front post double crochet, double crochet, front post double crochet, double crochet, and this double crochet, remember, is in that decrease. So for your next front post double crochet, skip over both of those stitches and work into this next stitch. And then once again, work your regular double crochet decrease. So continue working in this way all the way around. So I just want to mention that after this round, we have now gone through all 4 different types of decreases in this pattern. So just continue following the pattern, working the decreases for your size. Alright, so I've completed my hat and I have 6 stitches left at the top. So what we're going to do to close this up is fasten off. And when you cut the yarn to fasten off, just leave a little bit of a tail because we're going to use this yarn to sew on a button for the pom-pom. If you're not using a pom-pom, then don't worry about it. So fasten off. You're going to take a tapestry needle and thread it. Whoops. If you don't know, this is kind of a trick for threading a needle. It works pretty well. So go to the top of your hat and find those 6 remaining stitches. And what we're going to do is on the front loop of each of the stitch, you're just going to go in and out like this and pull and in and out through the next 2 and in and out through the final 2. And what that does is when you pull, it closes the top of the hat. And that's also kind of a trick for finishing off any hat, really. Okay, once you've closed off the top of your hat, you're going to sew a button onto it to attach the pom-pom to. Some people like to put the button on the outside of the hat. You can definitely do that. I feel like you can see the button when you do that, so I like to sew the button onto the inside of my hat. And with slouchier hats like this, you definitely don't feel it, so use whatever method you like. Just sew on that button. I like to just do a traditional like little cross through the buttonholes and make sure that you can't see the yarn at the top. So I just make a little X in my button and then go back down. Okay, and don't forget to weave in all your ends. But so then what you're going to do is I take a small crochet hook and I go in next to the button. And then these are the pom-poms I like to use. They come with an elastic band on them. You can get these anywhere online, on Etsy. I just got these from Joann's. So pull that elastic through. And then under here you're going to just wrap the elastic around the button to secure the pom. Do one more wrap. And there you have it.